welcome to episode 5. Yeah, 5 of Sweet with a Twist. It is your host, Skylar Sweet. And how are you guys enjoying this season so far, the unfiltered college years? I honestly cannot believe we're already at episode 5. I'm like really hitting these down. I'm knocking them down. My college experience from like being on campus and in a dorm has been or was an experience. it's its own world out there. It's totally different when you don't get that on campus experience. And I think it's worth it because you can really kind of grow out of your high school shell and experience a lot of things you probably did in high school. And I know I didn't experience a lot of the things that I went through in college on campus. I did not experience that in my high school days. Okay. But yeah, I'm enjoying this whole season and stuff. And sorry for the glare. I'm using natural lighting today. I posted a TikTok on saying I see why people like natural lighting more. Like I appreciate the light bulbs and electricity, but I don't know, I look totally different when I have natural lighting hitting me opposed to man-made lighting. So yeah, I really like this, and I don't have to worry about turning on a lamp. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm loving this. Also, this is my first episode that I've done while it's been daylight. If y'all guys know, I've done now 3 late night, like literally 12 o'clock at night podcast episodes. So I'm literally in my pajamas for one of them, or for 2 of them. But you know, it's here nor there. I'm still put these out and have and tell my stories and my experiences and ups and downs and everything. So I'm not gonna stop. Like, this is just the beginning. Okay. Just the beginning. Also, I just made a Instagram, story post about kind of the schedule and the topics and the layout of season 3 for my podcast. So definitely I'll be posting that on like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube shorts and everything like that. So I'm excited. But today I'm just wearing this, and then I have like these really cute jeans on. I have, you see that? It's a blinged rhinestone cross. They're really cute. They're from Ross, my jeans. And yeah, that's my fit. Okay. Also, I'm new to, well, I'm like 2 years in, but I'm a kind of a new Apple Watch user, and it's crazy because I got this wireless charging device, and it charges your phone. But I have all Apple stuff, so iPhone, Apple Watch, and your AirPods. But is it just me, or literally when you take your Apple Watch off of the charger, it is like really hot. Like, it's hot. I don't know if that's a safety concern, but a few times I thought like I shouldn't put this directly on my skin because I thought it was gonna burn me. Like, it's super hot whenever it comes off the charger. So I don't know. That's just crazy, but that's another thing. But I wanted to really touch on this story that has come to light that I recently just saw on Friday or Saturday, about this young guy that was a former LSU football player. His name is Kyren Lacy, and his story is sad. it's a sad story. Y'all guys have probably seen it all over like TikTok, Instagram, the internet. Um, so when I saw it the first time, I just saw someone say something about a former LSU football star um, was going to be charged for negligent homicide and for a fatal car crash that happened in 2024. And I was like, what? No. And I saw a picture of him. And I said, no, not another, young black kid, playing football, probably, got a football scholarship and about to go out and do his, NFL career. I'm thinking when I read that he was alive, like he was here with us, and basically he was clearing his name because everyone was saying that he was innocent. Yesterday on Sunday, I saw a post on Instagram about his story and about him. And I was reading it, and it said that his lawyer had made him a promise that he was going to clear his name, that because he was innocent. And so basically, the lawyer did clear his name. Kyren Lacy was innocent. Um, he was at least, I think it said like 70 yards away from where the deadly car crash actually happened. So he was nowhere near it. Like he wasn't even involved. And so I'm like, oh, that's good. Like I'm glad to hear that. Like, and then it was one of the Instagram posts where it's like a slideshow. So it was a lot of pictures and posts. So then I swiped to the next picture, and then it said something about gone too soon. And I said, what? I was like, what are they talking about? And I found out that Kyren Lacy actually, um, he actually committed that a day, I think they said, before he was supposed to actually be seen in court last year. So he is no longer with us. I was in shock. I I was in shock to see a young black guy who obviously had a bright future ahead of him, an amazing future ahead of him, to go into the NFL and to just see it all taken away from him in a blink of an eye because they just want to charge and put charges and arrest people that were innocent and don't want to properly bring justice to who actually committed the crime and who killed that man in that crash. To see innocent people, just it's so sad, all because they just probably saw a black boy and said, oh, he did it. It makes me think a lot because I think a few weeks ago I saw a post of a man, a black man, who was in prison for 35 years. And he was innocent the whole entire time. You're talking about, I was in disgust at reading that. 35 years and he was innocent the whole entire time. It's just that it keeps happening because of our color. And it's just wrong. It is so disgusting. It's wrong. And this is why I feel that the world is going so far backwards. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say. It's just sad. It really is. So I also brought that up because in my college years, my freshman year on campus, I actually experienced and was actually there for a very tragic event. And it's crazy because I didn't even know what had happened. But the next day, or like, I think it was a weekend, either the next day or Monday when like classes started back, we found this news out, and then come to find out we were actually there that night when it all happened. So basically, when I was back at the university on campus, my friends and I would always go to the gym, and we would literally work out, or like sometimes if we weren't working out, we would go to they had like this like entertainment game room, I guess you could say. And you could play the Wii, you could play, I think, like an Xbox. Like you could bring, okay, wait, did they have a Wii? Wait, I think they had a Wii. You could like rent it out basically. And so my friends were playing the Wii, and we're playing all the dancing games and stuff. Mind you, it's nighttime. Like I think it was about like 8, 9 p.m., something around that. The gym didn't close till, when time did the gym close? Like, I think like 10. I think it didn't close till very late. So I was sitting at a table inside the room because they had a table, a couch, the entertainment center, and the TV was on top. Two of my friends, which shout out to them, my college friends, Safari and Jadeja, I think, were dancing like to a Wii game. And, we're having fun. It's a normal night on campus, like, whatever. The next thing we hear is a bunch of police sirens. And we're like, and there's two windows, like big windows. So you can look outside to the campus. And we were like, what's going on? Like, I'm talking about a whole army, I guess, of police officers and stuff. Like, it was very loud and they were very bright. And we were like, what's going on? And we were like, wait, it sounds like it's here on campus. Like, the police are here. And so we're like, where are they? And we went to the windows to go see, like what's happening. And we finally get a clear view to the campus. So I'm literally in front of my window right now. So imagine this is, I'm back on campus. So here's the window. We're looking out, and you could see the campus library was right in front of the gym. And then it was like some of the class buildings that were behind the library, but like you could see them. I don't know if this is making sense. And where the buildings are, there's a road. So it's one way and then one way this way, So it's two roads. And you could see that. So we can see where the police are, and they're on the road, or in the road, and they're blocking the road. And they were around this one building that was known as the English building. which is all mostly English classes, were held in this building. And we're like, what's going on? Like, huh? And everyone, I'm talking about everyone in the gym was looking. Um, and we were all like, yeah, what's happening? So then, of course, no one really knew anything. So we were like, okay, hopefully everything's okay. We moved on, and then we were wrapping it up because the gym was about to close. So we leave the gym closes, and we go back to our um, dorms and went to sleep. And I can't remember, this was a Friday, so it was the weekend. I can't even remember, but I'm just gonna say the next day. Bear with me if it's, I don't really remember, but I'm gonna say the next day. Of course, when you're in college, you are signed up for the college messages and alerts and stuff. So we were all signed up for that to get any type of news information sent right to our phone numbers, right to our text messages. The next day, wake up, I can't, this is so bad. But I'm just gonna say the next day I wake up, if it was a class day, I went to class. If it wasn't, it wasn't. So eventually I get, I think, a text, or was it an email? No, it was an email. It was an email from our college that said basically the news about what happened, about when it happened, and yeah, and how the campus is, you know, sending thoughts and prayers and condolences to the family. And so I was like, what's going on? And when I was reading it, I was like, wait, I was here on campus, I remember. But I thought it was nothing. But no, come to find out, an English professor at that time actually, well, what can I say without being flagged? Actually, jumped off the building and, you know, didn't make it. And I was so in shock. I didn't know the professor. Like, I wasn't in their class. So I couldn't recognize the name because there's so many English professors, right? Um, but I had a class one time or a few times there. So I knew the building, and they even, I think, either students who, knew where that professor's classroom was, and they had that classroom, like, blocked off and everything. You couldn't get in, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. And to know that I was there and I saw something as far as the police, and all my friends, we came together. We were like, did you see this? Did you hear this? Like, we were there that night. I was like, I know, I know. Uh, and I say that because when you're away from your parents and you're off to college, and to go through those types of events, not necessarily by yourself, but like, you can't, it's hard, and you have to walk by that building or even have a class in that building, and to know that one of the professors, it's it really rattled um, a lot of us, but it really, I think, shook me up because this is not the first time. I've experienced um, a death at a college, I mean, not college, but at a school campus. Um, I'm not going to really go into the other one right now, but to know that it happened back to back in my life is a lot. Um, so I just want y'all guys to know that take heed and having manners, respecting people, considering people, um, being friendly, because you don't know what's going on, obviously, in people's minds, lives. So when you go to college, don't lose your actual mind. Don't, seriously. Um, be the person that you know your parents or people who look up to you know you can be or you are. So if you are a good person and you were raised right and don't lose your mind just because you're away from your parents and family and stuff because it's hard. So to take something in like that and to mind you, after that they talked about it a few times on my campus, but and they had like grief counselors and stuff available, but yeah, you can definitely look it up. It is on the internet. And I think I told my parents that happened, I think the following week or weekend, because I went back home. And so, yeah, we looked it up and it was actually on the internet. Showed my parents, and, it was a sad, tragic event. So a lot can happen on college campuses that I think parents need to take heed to. College is a huge place. Like, so much can happen, and maybe your kid won't necessarily tell you everything. I know I didn't tell my parents everything, still haven't. I didn't tell them everything right then and there. I might have told them a week or two later. Um, but mental health, this comes back to that, and is so real, and it can literally eat you inside out. Like, people think that, oh, it's a phase, um, it's a one-time thing. No, if you constantly keep feeling like this all day, every day, you need to, if you don't want to like go to a professional just yet, please consider talking to someone that you trust, or looking up ways that you can do at home or implement in your life if you don't want to pay for a professional just yet. Now, I will say, I wish that I wish I could go back in time and had spoken up about my mental health, but obviously I can't because I would have started earlier. But people do say as long as you start, that's a good thing. As long as you start somewhere, that's all you can do. So I'm starting somewhere, and this is all new to me. So I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm thinking about this, but yeah, I know that God has a plan for me, for my life, for my future, and as long as I stick with Him, because He sticks with me, He's always there for me, ups, downs, ugly, happy, like He's always there for me. But as long as I stick with Him, everything's gonna be all right. So, and this is how I actually ended up deciding to reach out or actually go through with it, um, and speaking to a professional, is because I'm just carrying so much, and God is telling me that I've been carrying so much from years ago, and then in my life, what recently happened within the 2 years, like I have a lot going on, and God wants us, His children, to be happy, to prosper, and I think the only way I can really succeed and believe in myself is by me taking these steps. So, also, I didn't mention this when I did make my mental health like episode, um, but I actually did have a breakdown like numerous times, um, on campus my freshman year, and then at some point when I came back home, like transferred back home to like my community college, and then COVID hit. And between the time of COVID, which was 2020, 2021, I actually did look at and look up places or uh, companies that helped with mental health and seeking out professional help. I actually did. And I was like bawling my eyes out while I was doing it. But I didn't go through with it. So this is the first time I've actually gone through with it. And I can honestly say that I am proud of myself. I am proud of myself. And this will be documented. I'm not gonna obviously show y'all guys everything, but take that step. And I know, as far as being black and then being a black girl, you're almost like supposed to just take stuff and not act like it affects you, or to show emotions, or to seek help. And it's just like, no, that is the wrong approach. And we don't talk about it enough, because this is serious. Like, it's a serious issue. So, being vulnerable is strength. I promise you that. But this is the end of this episode. I know it was probably a little bit shorter, but this is what I really wanted to talk about, because his story kind of ignited something in me. Old memories, feelings, all of that. And it's just crazy. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next episode. And we're gonna keep it real regardless. Like, this is real life. That was my part of my life. So yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this or learned something, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.